Okay, so as a healer, my duty is to tell the truth because telling the truth saves your life. And the reason that I'm into food as medicine is because I suffered from 10 years of chronic acne and hemorrhoids without any answers. I took tretinoin topical cream, I took Proactive, I took an antibiotic, almost took Accutane. I was literally trying everything, and I went dermatologist to dermatologist and never got the answers that I was looking for. And I hear the same exact story after working with 85 clients. The reason that they usually work with me is because they've been pinballed around and ping ponged around by the Western medicine system. And as a leader and as a healer, my duty is to serve people. And sometimes serving people means telling the hard truth. And that hard truth is that Western medicine is one big limiting belief. And what I mean by that is if you are told that it's just genetics, if you're told that we don't know what caused it, if you're told that this is the only option and if you don't, you will die, that is all just a limiting belief. Not only that, but I went through 16 months of depression, and none of this is medical advice. But at this point, people need and deserve the truth. I never took those medications, even when I considered them 4 separate times throughout my 16-month bout, because I just knew it wasn't actually the solution. It wasn't because I was the holistic guy. It wasn't because I wasn't able to swallow my pride or I had too much of an ego to do something like that, because I actually considered it. But I have heard horror stories. I've seen horror stories. I know that it makes you worse. I know that they designed them to keep you addicted, to keep you reliant on them, to not actually heal you, but to, yeah, just literally put a band-aid on the symptoms and then make you feel good enough, but also actually be the poison that is making you sick and then therefore need it more. And what business doesn't want a recurring customer? There's no difference between the pharmaceutical industry and healthcare. Like, they want recurring customers too. They want recurring revenue. And the truth is that every single medication that you take has some sort of side effect. And there's a reason. And the bigger reason, the bigger picture is that we are not separate from nature. So anytime you work against nature, aka using food as medicine, using humans as medicine, using breath as medicine, using sleep as medicine, forest bathing, all these things, every time you go against that, like, nature will let you know. And you are nature. So your body's going to let you know through side effects. Whether it's heartburn medication or depression medication or a GLP-1, every single one has a side effect for a reason. It is the body screaming at you saying, this is not the solution. This is not the solution. This is not the solution. Yet you keep taking it because you think it's helping you. The truth is, not only is it not actually healing you, it's genuinely making you worse. And it's making you worse because it's poison. And it's poison because when you have something that's damaging and goes against nature in your body, the body overcompensates. So if you're taking heartburn medication, your iron will be low, or your calcium will be low, or your B12 will be low, because that's the blessing and the curse of the human body. It's always trying to keep you safe. So it will overcompensate, right? I have a labrum injury in my left shoulder. And now, like, my whole body's overcompensating. So like my right hip is higher than my left, and it radiates all the way down my knee. And sometimes my left side feels like it's shut down, or my right side is tight because the body's overcompensating. And so it's beautiful because it helps us stay safe and it helps us in the present moment. And, we might, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So, like, we need to survive right now. Now, right? If a tiger is chasing us, we need to survive right now. And so, yeah, just say this because Western medicine is actually all about numbing your pain, and Eastern and holistic medicine is all about the ability to expand your capacity to hold pain. Let me say that again. Western medicine is there to numb your pain, and Eastern medicine is there to help you expand your ability and capacity to hold pain. And the truth is, if you can't feel it, you cannot heal it. If you can't feel it, you can't heal it. And so the reason I really encourage people to go a holistic route is because, not that, like, Western medicine, oh yeah, you can take that option. That's an option. But if you're trying to heal people, you have to not be on those, because For example, birth control. Women at the age of 11. There have been women that have been 11 years old that have actually been my clients who tell me that they were put on birth control at the age of 11. And if you are on birth control for more than 10 years, you literally increase your risk of hypothyroidism, aka injury with your thyroid and your energy. You have a 240% increased chance of hyperthyroidism, which causes chronic fatigue and so many issues. And so there was a lizard actually almost about to hop into the garage here. That's why I was looking over there. But anyway, yeah, it makes you worse, right? So like, unfortunately, people don't realize actually the reason that they're on maybe depression medications, or the reason that they're on arthritis medication, or maybe the reason that they're on prednisone anti-inflammatory, or reason that they're on anti-anxiety, or the reason that they're on any of these is that because they design them that way, and they're not actually designed to heal you. They actually just stop and inhibit the enzyme that causes the issue. So you're not actually healing. You're literally just hitting the pause button on healing. You're not actually getting worse. The medication doesn't help you. I need to reiterate it. It's not helping you. It's actually making you worse, even if you feel like it's making you feel better. Or if you're on a statin because a doctor told you have a 50% chance of getting heart disease because you have it in your family history, that's bullshit. And the reason that you're on the statin is because, your body's overcompensating. And stress is a huge underrated factor to cholesterol and heart and blood pressure. And so you just have to realize that, like for example, like heartburn medications, they actually deplete your healthy gut bacteria, and they, deplete like your iron, and they deplete your stomach acid. And that's the misconception about heartburn, is that it's actually too much acid, but the reality is it's not enough stomach acid, because when we don't have enough stomach acid to break down food, then it can't happen. So literally the body rejects it and it throws it back up the throat, because it's like, okay, well, I can't process this. There's not enough stomach acid to break this food down. And I know it sounds kind of like an oxymoron or contradictory, but when food is acidic, it's hard to break down. But the reason we have a gut mucosal lining is because it helps us withstand stomach acid, because stomach acid can literally be as acidic as like battery acid, right? But that's why it fucking, excuse my language, burns a lot when it goes up to your throat, because you don't actually have like that, protective mucosal lining. So it's not too much. It's not too much stomach acid. It's actually not enough. And then there's also a huge myth around, cholesterol and statins. And there's so many healthy like alternatives that I don't have time to go into, but like red rice yeast extract and berberine and all these things like help with your, blood sugar levels and cholesterol. I mean, all of it's interconnected, and that's what the Eastern medicine system does. It's, everything's connected. You know, your knee injury is connected to your emotions that you haven't healed, and your gut issues is from the stress that you have. But most doctors don't talk about that because they're not taught. It's not because they're bad people. It's because they're just not taught. They just simply don't know. And so you have to realize that like the reason you're on medication is because you're on medication. Let me say that again. Likely the reason you're on medication is because you're on medication. I actually had a client once who was on prednisone, and he was like pretty overweight, and he like could barely golf, and even with the medication, and that was happening for a while. And then he was like, screw this, I've been on this forever, I'm just gonna like try to stop. And he lost 16 pounds and then could play 18 holes of golf after he got off the medication. So you're not supposed to be on heartburn medications for more than 2 weeks. Most people are on them for way longer than that. They normalize Tums, they normalize Tylenol, which just destroys your colon and your gut bacteria. And antibiotics are handed out like Pez candy, which also crushes your healthy gut bacteria. 70% of your immune system, 90% of your neurotransmitters, and 90% of your happiness hormone, serotonin, in your gut. And you're just literally dropping an absolute nuke on it. And you wonder why you feel like crap, and you wonder why you have depression when 90% of your happiness hormone's in there. So you just have to realize that most of the time you're on medication because you're on medication. And it's not that like, oh, you can choose this or that. Again, my duty as a leader and a truth teller is to tell you the truth, because that's my highest level of service. And, most doctors actually take that oath of like, thou shalt not do no harm. And they don't realize, because I think most doctors are really good people. They just genuinely aren't taught what actually heals the body. And that's stress management. That's real food. That's healthy relationships. That's eating organic. And it's like healing your gut from a holistic perspective. So just know that most of the time you're on medication is because you're on medication, and there's not a single one that exists out there that doesn't have side effects, and it's a reason. It's because the body's speaking to you, and you just have to learn how to listen to it. So if you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling like you want a holistic measure to heal your health, and you feel like you're trying everything, blood testing, eating healthy, subjectively, whatever that means to you, reach out or comment on this post, The Aligned Human, and I'll reach out to you, because that's exactly what I do. Is I help people heal holistically. I help them overcome burnout, former athletes, ambitious people, lifelong learners, current entrepreneurs, people that have this high achieving mindset, because a lot of the times it's not from like not enough supplements. It's from too much people pleasing, too much boundaries that they haven't built, and saying yes when you mean no, and all these energetic things we don't really think about. So yeah, healing the body at a core level, getting in touch with nature, returning to homeostasis, rest, seeing rest as literally part of work and medicine is huge. So if you don't mind, I know I've watched a bunch of YouTube videos before and it's like, all right, whatever. But if you're open to subscribing, that would be awesome. I think it helps with the views. Hope you enjoyed this video and got some value. And yeah, send this to someone that maybe needs to hear it, because holistic healing is actually how you get to the root. And that's why I choose that route. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions about that. But sometimes you have to get rid of what's causing you to feel like crap. And if you don't know what's causing you to feel like crap, then you're never going to heal. And oftentimes those can be things that are normalized, like caffeine and medication. But those are the things that actually ironically keep you stuck. So I have to reiterate that, yeah, most of the time you're on medication is because you're on it. And that's how they're designed. So if you want to heal holistically and heal your life and have better energy and feel better, reach out, DM The Aligned Human, or comments on this YouTube video. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.